Everyone, welcome to day 7 of my 13 Frights before Halloween, and we're ready to work on our next set of pages. But before we do that, I need to fix something here on this one. I don't think I got my belly band quite tight enough, so I could either pull this up and tighten it up, because see, when I put this in, because it's pretty thick, it slides out, usually slides out the bottom, and I don't want that to happen. One I made earlier, I had the band tighter. It was a thinner book, so it did not slide out. So I'm going to fix that by creating a stopper piece. So I want this to go in about right there, like that. So I want a piece down here at the bottom that can hold it in, and I want it to stick out a little bit to kind of give it a different look. So this is a piece of the chipboard left over from cutting the covers. So this is about 2 inches wide by 4 inches long, and I cut 2 pieces of paper the same size, and I'm going to stick these together like this, and then this is going to attach down here at the bottom, and that should be just enough to catch that and keep it from falling. So I'm going to mat these onto here. So the chipboard's just giving it a little extra thickness. If you're using a paper collection that has chipboard, what they call chipboard die cuts or chipboard stickers, you could use something like that. But I'm creating one myself, and I want the black checks to show. So after I had finished filming yesterday, I stood my book up and noticed that this was falling. I thought, well, we're going to fix that. So today we're fixing this before we move on. So then when this sticks over, it's going to have like a little tab sticking out that you can also use to pull these pages open. So I'm going to line this up, and I think I'm going to use score tape and glue to attach this, because I want to make sure it really sticks. So I need to pay attention. This side's going to stick out, so I want it to stick out about maybe 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to put tape right there, and I'm going to put tape on each side and the end, and then I'll put glue in the middle. And that should make it strong enough that a person can like use it to lift the page open. This also tells me to not put glue here, because that's the part that I want to be sticking out off the edge. So I'm going to peel this tape backing off. And then I'm going to take glue. And before I do that, I think I'm going to trim anywhere I may have gotten it off a little bit, just right along the chipboard, if there's any paper sticking out. And then I'm going to take my ink dauber, even though that's black. I want to make sure the paper's got a good inking. I did ink it once, but I want to make sure that when you look down on it, you don't see any white. Okay, now the glue. And line this up where I want it to stop, and bring this up to it. A little further over, right there, lining it up. So that sticks down right there. So I like how that turns out. Now if you turn your book upside down, it will fall out, but you're not. You're going to sit it up like this. So this should work better this way. I think it needed to be down a little bit, so I'm going to try to move it real quick. I didn't look at that. I want it further down. So yeah, that's better. So it's about a 1/4 inch off this bottom edge, and that worked just fine. Now I can let it glue and stick down, and then that's going to fit a little more so it's not sticking up so high. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, so we can add some other things that we might find, some different bling and stuff like that. Oh, be careful, I got my score tape on my book. Okay, everything's okay. Pay attention to your tails of your score tape. Don't do what I did and get it stuck underneath your book. Okay, so now that one's fixed. It will stay in there like that. And we're going to go ahead and pattern this side. So this one, I'm using this that says costume because I think I'm going to try to make a ghost. So we'll see. I've inked the edges, and it is 3.5, actually 3 5/8 by 5 5/8. So I want the costume side showing. This on here. And then turn this, and look, this is a pocket, so I forgot about that. I'm going to have to make a punch here. Yep, that is a pocket. We have the other piece, the same size, 5 5/8 tall by 3 5/8 wide. Go ahead and put that on. There. Okay, so now we need to punch a notch so that we know that that is a pocket. So I'm going to use my 1 inch, and hopefully it will punch through both sides. And line this up. I'm going to make it a short notch. Nope, it won't go through. It won't go through pieces. 2 pieces of chip cardstock. So I'm going to open this up. It almost did, but not quite. So sorry if my head is getting in the way. I just want a little bit of a notch there, and then the same on this side. This one almost punched, so I'm going to try to line this up correctly. A little bit more. It would have been easier if it hadn't have partially. There we go. I can see it right there. Okay, there we go. So we have a notch there, and then when I put a tag in there, it's going to show a little bit there at the top. And I didn't want to cut away all my C. So we got that there. So we're going to turn that for now. We've got this one patterned, and on this side, before we do our tag and attempt to make a ghost, we're going to do a little waterfall. And what I did is I cut these colored squares out of the paper that says a Halloween party game, and they're trimmed down. These I've already done. These 2 are not. They're trimmed down to about 3 1/4 wide and 3 7/8 tall, scored at 1/2 inch on just the top edge. So that's going to be the hinge. And then here where these little stub notches are, I just use my scissors and cut those. And I cut this out so that I have like a small border at the bottom. I'll show you just what I mean just a second here. See how instead of right along the line, I left this little bit of like banners. I'm going to see how that looks. So you cut these notches out right along the dark part. I have one more. And then you ink it. And I'm going to use, I think, glue to attach these. So put them in the order you want them. So I want this first, then a purple or dark blue, orange, dark blue, and orange is last. So this is going to go on this back side here. So I'm going to take my little booklet out for now so it lays down a little bit flatter. And I'm going to get me a clip to uphold this down. Okay. Well, maybe I will. Let's see here. Maybe just the pages like that. Okay. So we put the top one on first. And I'm going to drop it down just below that notch right there. So I'm going to take some glue. This one's a little bit narrower. The hinge is about 1/4 inch on this one so that I could get all of the trick or treat and all the sayings. So you're just going to have to trim this out or cut it out the best way you can to utilize the part that you want to see. So I've got the glue and I'm going to center this side to side. It should fit pretty close to the paper. Right there, the clip popped off. And open it up and go ahead and burnish that. So when you flip it up, I didn't get enough glue. I've used plenty of glue here. And hold it long enough to let it dry. So get it in here again. Right there. Put it to dry, and I want it to be straight. Burnish it with your hands. It warms up that glue and it just makes it spread out smoother. So there's that one. So flip that one up and then take your next one. Apply glue just to the fold. And this one I want to drop it down. Now that tab was 1/4 inch. So I'm going to use it as a guide. And these are smaller than the top one, so you need to kind of position it straight and center it from side to side. Right there. And then the orange one. These two I didn't ink yet, so let me ink real quick these that I just cut on camera here. Next one's going to be the orange one. And drop it down about 1/4 inch from the fold of the one that's already down and line them up. Nice and straight. This will add in lots more room for you, and you've got a little bit of that design showing. This one needs to go up just a little bit. Okay. So I think I had it cut crooked, so. And the next one, the purple blue color. little more here. And the last one. Okay, so next we're going to make some kind of little closure piece for this, or otherwise they're going to stick up. So you could put ribbon or something and tie it down here, but I'm going to look at our stickers and things and see what we want, and then create a little closure piece there with this one. So we're going to create a closure piece here out of chipboard, one of the little squares, cardstock, and a piece of patterned paper. So you're going to need to cut a piece of chipboard 1 7/8 by 2, and your little square should be the same size, 2-inch tall by 1 7/8 wide. And then you need a piece of black cardstock, 3 1/2 by 1 1/8, and this would be 3 1/2 by 1 1/8. So these two are going to be glued together. You're going to have just a little border of the black at the top. What it is, I trimmed this so that it would be on the squares lined up. So we're going to glue those together. I'm using glue to make them a little bit stronger. So this is going to be the support piece for the swing tab and the brad. So we glue this together and let this dry. And you're also going to glue this little square onto the chipboard piece. And then ink the edges where the white shows. Okay, I'm going to let those dry for just a second. Okay, now that these have dried, we need to punch a hole in the bottom here for a brad. So center it about 1/8 of an inch up. Center it right there. So I have this kind of gray, glossy silver brad from my stash that I think will look fine with this. So just rummage around and see what you have. And then we're going to lay this over here. This is going to be our support piece. Normally I would put it through the pattern paper back there, but I kind of like the look of an extra layer here. So I'm going to lay this here. I want it under Party Game. So I'm going to drop this piece down just a little bit, and I'm going to mark it. I've got a stylus thing here. I'm going to poke a hole, and I'm just going to punch the hole rather than using the hole punch, because I want to not make it real big. So we put the brad through this. We don't glue it. We want it to be able to be swingable. We're going to put this all the way through the chipboard and the patterned paper that are glued together and open up our brads. Okay, so see, this makes a swing. Now this, we're going to use score tape to really hold this down. You may have to go up above the Party Game. So that's going to work okay. So it's going to fit right at the base of that flips here. Brains quit working. Okay, so we're going to open this up. I'm going to put score tape. I don't want it over the brad legs. I just want it on the piece. top and bottom here. Peel this off, and then I'm going to add some glue too. So when you know that you're building something like this, I could have put this brad through this pattern paper before I attached the paper, but I didn't think ahead that far, so I'm going to line this up here and here, right at the bottom of that. Let's press that down. So now we have a swing tab. We swing it down to look at our pictures in here, and then we swing it up to keep the flaps closed. So that works out really, really good. Okay, now I want to do something here, so I'm going to stop the camera and gather up some supplies, and I'll be right back. This page, I'm going to make a couple of little ghosts. I'm going to show you how I've already made one. This is made out of plastic bags and a cutout from the paper, from this sheet of paper. So I'm going to show you how to do one real quick. You take some white cardstock and your punch. I lost my punch there for a minute. This is a 1-inch punch, so I'll punch out 1-inch circle. Okay, and then you cut out a square out of a plastic bag, like a grocery bag, like one of these, like a thank you bag, grocery bag, white bag, and lost my square. It doesn't have to be perfectly cut. And then put this in the center somewhere and cover it from both sides. So let's see, this is going to be a shorter ghost than the other one. And then gather it around it and just twist, kind of like covering a popsicle. And take a piece of white sewing thread, can't see that very much, and double it. And then I wrap it around a couple of times after I've twisted the bag around the little circle. And then pull it around and just tie it in a knot a couple of times. If it's easier for you to use a needle on the thread, then you can do that too. But I just kind of tie it in a knot, then cut the excess off. So then you have your little ghost shape, and then if you want to cut some like little V shapes into the plastic for the edge of the ghost, you can do that. Little ghost here. And then out of the paper you cut a jack-o'-lantern or whatever mask you might want on this. This one's a larger one, but I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to put some glue in the middle of the jack-o'-lantern here and just glue that on like that over the circle. And then I'm going to place them over this page. So this becomes a decorative page. If you want it for photos, then don't put anything down on it. I like to do lots of decorating, so I'm going to use my foam dots as soon as I find them. There they are. So I'm going to put some, and I'm just going to attach it to the circle. I may put 2 on there to make sure it stays good. And pull the backing off. Whoops, that one didn't stick because the backing's still on it. There we go. This is just some little fun thing you can do. I'm going to ink it right quick a little bit. And we'll stick it down like here. And then the other one, I think 1 dot will work for that one. Smaller head. Now you can make these probably out of tissue paper if you wanted to, or maybe even cheesecloth. There, I think that looks cute like that. So that's just in the book like that. And then we have our page here with our flips that you can put pictures on, or if you like this, just leave it that way and put a picture up there on this part. Of course, this is upside down, so if you don't like that, you can cut a black square. And I may go ahead and do that real quick. I'm going to turn the camera off. Let me measure it. use cardstock, so it would be about a 3 by 3 square. Squares. This one's a 3 by 3. The others, because these are smaller, need to be 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So if you don't like this clearly being upside down, this one's okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. So it's just the first one that was out of order, but you can go ahead and put these black photo mats in there if you want. So I'm going to put a couple of them in here. Like that. That way they're ready for photos. Like maybe the Instagram or some that you print at home, the smaller photos. So, and one more. So this session probably was longer, but we had a little bit more to do, what with the ghost and these flips. And we'll be doing another waterfall flip in the inside back cover when we get to that part. So anyway, there's that. There's our little ghost, and I'm going to add our little book in here. Just lift up and slide it in. And there we are. That's day 7. And I'll see you tomorrow. And it's getting a little chunky, so it's going to have a closure for sure. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.